My name is Mike Nelson. I spend a lot of my time underwater because it's my occupation, but not usually under these kind of conditions. This assignment was different from anything I had ever attempted. I was working for Dr. Bradley at the university on a physiology problem that was familiar to every skin diver. How much could a swimmer improve his lung capacity by training? The wires I was wearing were connected to a machine that registered the stresses on the lungs and the cardiovascular system. After 2 weeks, my limit of endurance was up to 1 minute and 52 seconds, a 6% increase over the last test, but still a long way from the world's record established in 1913 by a Greek sponge diver. At the time, it was only an experiment. There wasn't the slightest inkling in my mind that all too soon my lung capacity would be put to a practical test, and that 2 lives would depend on the success of my training. It was a few minutes later that a surprise phone call triggered the whole incident into being.
You're doing just fine, Mike. Notice right here. Less stress than the last time, and you were under 6 seconds longer. Dr. Bradley. Yeah, he's right here. It's for you, Mike.
Oh, I don't see how they do it, those Polynesian and Japanese pearl divers. You realize they stay down twice as long as I do? Hello?
Hi, Mike. I've been paging you all over town.
Who's this?
Jenny Wallace.
Jenny, wow, nice to hear your voice. Thought you were in New York. When'd you get in town?
About an hour ago. What are you doing back at school? I thought you already knew everything.
I'll tell you all about it when I see you. Where you staying?
Hollywood Riviera.
All right, I'll pick you up at 7. I'll see you then, huh?
An old flame, Mike?
Yeah, that's right. Past tense. See you in a moment, Doc.
Right.
Now, let me see now. The last thing I heard about you was that you were going to get married to some big millionaire. I don't know, I forgot his name. What happened?
I changed my mind. I guess I compared him to you. With or without his money, he came off a very bad second.
Don't give me that. You know about all my faults.
Namely, tightening up and swimming away from any kind of romance that looks as if it might become serious. Like you're doing right now.
What are you doing out here again in sunny California, huh?
Skin diving, only I found a way to make it pay. You know how popular skin diving's become. Well, I took up photography along with it, and I talked the editor of Outdoor Sports into giving me a job as their underwater photographer.
You're out here on an assignment then, huh?
Well, not exactly. He wants to see a sample of my work first.
Oh, what are you going to show him?
Found out about a wreck off the coast of San Diego. A Japanese barge has never been photographed, so I thought I'd take a crack at it.
Oh, that sounds interesting.
Interesting enough for you to come along with me?
I'm sorry. I just put my boat up in dry dock.
That's no problem. I've got a boat all ready for charter.
Well, I'm also tied up in this research assignment at the university.
Research? What are you wasting your time with that stuff for?
You should be interested. We're trying to formulate a safety code for skin divers. Right now, we're working on improving lung capacity in case anything should happen to a diver's equipment.
That still leaves your weekends free, doesn't it? We could do it easily over a Saturday and Sunday.
I'm sorry, Jenny. I'm not interested.
What have you got against me?
You don't remember, huh?
What?
That I told you to give up skin diving before you killed yourself and anyone else who was involved with you.
That isn't fair, Mike. Now you're bringing up the past. That was 3 years ago. Will you give me credit for growing up a little since then? Everybody's entitled to a second chance, you know.
Well, Mike Nelson. Golly, I haven't seen you in ages.
Oh, that's since last week. Jenny Wallace, Johnny McGowan.
Hi.
It's a pleasure, Miss Wallace. Mike, I've been meaning to invite you down to the point. Been diving for lobster down there that big. How about making a day of it Sunday and bring along your beautiful friend here if you'd like?
Thanks just the same, Johnny, but I'm busy at the university. I'm doing some work there.
Ah, too bad. I was hoping you'd join me. Well, perhaps another time. It's been nice meeting you, Miss Wallace.
My pleasure.
Hope to run into you again soon. So long, Mike.
So long, Johnny. Oh, looks like you made another conquest.
It's easy with everyone but you.
Waiter?
Mike, I really need your help. This job means a lot to me.
The following day, we modified conditions by raising the water temperature in the tank. I found I could remain more active in warmer water and sustain my breathing longer. The visit from Johnny McGowan was not unexpected. I had a hunch he'd be showing up sooner or later. It was sooner.
Hey, Mike, what's this all about? Boy, you wired for sound?
No, it's an endurance experiment. How long, Doc?
2 minutes and 6 seconds. That's quite a jump, Mike.
2 minutes and 6 seconds without equipment? Boy, that's terrific.
No, it's really only fair. What brings you here, Johnny?
Oh, I just thought I'd drop around, say hello, see what you're up to.
Yeah?
Okay, Mike. Your friend, Miss Wallace. Is she a skin diver?
Oh, she's done a little.
You think she'd like to go diving for lobsters with me?
Oh, how do I know?
Would you mind?
I got no strings attached to her.
Well, where would I find her?
Hollywood Riviera Hotel.
Thanks, old buddy. I'll do the same for you sometime.
I was at home reading up on some scientific data when the doorbell rang. Oh, hi, Johnny.
Hi, Mike. Sorry to bother you. I was wondering if you could help me out with something.
What's your problem? Sit down.
Well, you know that helium-nitrogen mixture you used the last time I was out with you?
Yeah?
I thought I'd like to give it a try.
How deep do you plan to dive?
Well, I don't know. I just thought I'd like to have it along in case. I'm going down to San Diego with Jenny over the weekend. There's a wreck we're going to photograph.
Oh, you're not ready for that, Johnny.
Oh, look, I've been out with some expert divers lately, Mike. They say I handle myself real well.
Sure, you do. But you just took up skin diving about 6 months ago.
I can take care of myself. Don't worry.
You need a diving buddy that you can trust, and it's not Jenny, believe me.
Oh, why isn't it?
I don't know. Some people are just not cut out to be skin divers, that's all. I started to teach Jenny skin diving about 3 years ago, and...
I know, Mike. She told me all about that.
Now, did she tell you about the last time? The time that she and I and a kid named Bob Engel went out, exploring underwater caves off the New England coast?
No.
I gave explicit directions before we dove. We had a whole set of underwater signals. And when we got down there, my regulator wasn't working properly, so I signaled I was going to go up and fix it. But they were to stay put, and I'd be right back. Well, Ginny decided she'd go deeper. Bob tried to stop her, but she wouldn't pay any attention to him. See, he figured that she shouldn't go off alone, so he followed her, down into a depth that he'd never been before. He got panicky and came up too fast. Boy, that was the worst attack of bends that I've ever seen. Just luck we happen to have a decompression chamber aboard ship.
You didn't have to follow her.
That's not the point. We were to work together, not take any chances.
She told me you'd be jealous because she turned you down.
She turned me down?
Oh, you know she did, Mike. Look, I don't want any favors. I'll rent your equipment.
Well, I'm sorry, it's not available.
Okay. I'll get it someplace else.
Well, this is an unexpected pleasure. I thought you were all tied up at school learning your lessons.
Johnny came over to see me last night. He says he's going to San Diego with you.
That's right. He's not Mike Nelson, but I need somebody.
You know if he can handle this kind of a job?
He says he can.
But you don't really know if he can or not.
He's aware of the problems involved, and he's not afraid.
It isn't a question of being afraid. It's a question of experience, and he hasn't got any. And he's not going to get any help from you.
Now, what makes you so sure of that? He's willing to trust me.
Bob Engel trusted you, too.
That wasn't my fault. That was an accident.
It was no accident. I was there, remember?
Let go of me. Go on, get out of here.
Ginny, I'm thinking of you as well as of him. The two of you just wouldn't make a team. Well, why don't you give this all up, huh, before it's too late?
I'm not going to. And if you're so worried about your friend, why don't you take over for him?
When are you going to leave?
Tomorrow morning.
You got a boat?
All set and waiting in San Diego.
Is there a compressor aboard?
A brand new one. Mike, you don't have to worry about anything this time. Honest, I'll do anything you say. Please? Well, Mike, what do you say? Do I call Johnny and tell him to forget all about it?
On one condition. If after working with you I still feel it's not safe for you to be a skin diver, you'll give it up.
It's a deal.
Better keep this strictly business this time, huh? I'll pick you up tomorrow morning. About 5 o'clock. Yeah, come on in. Door's unlocked. Come on in.
I just wanted to say thanks for the double cross.
I'm sorry, Johnny.
Yeah, you're sorry. Nobody gets ahead of Mike Nelson, do they? Not in skin diving with girls or anything else.
I said I was sorry, and I admit I did double-cross you. But it was for your own good, believe it or not.
Well, you still double-crossed me.
If that's all you got to say, you said it. And I'm sorry, I got a lot of work to do, and I've got to get up early in the morning.
Oh, there's one more thing, Mike.
Yeah? You got it out of your system now? Or would you like to go a few rounds? The chartered boat was waiting for us when we arrived at San Diego. For a moment, my misgivings faded away at the prospect of a pleasant weekend.
Oh, excuse me, Captain Mariani. This is Mike Nelson.
Tanto gusto, señor. Igualmente.
This is where we're going. How long do you think it'll take?
We make it easy in 3 hours, señorita. You sure this is the spot where that barge is?
That's what I was told. Why?
I done a lot of diving in that area. I never saw any signs of a wreck.
If it's not there, I've just thrown away $50.
Best thing for us to do is to go out there and see. Let's check a couple of things first, huh, Captain? Did you get a weather report? The weather will be calm and clear all weekend. That's good. Oh, another thing, we both have 2 tanks apiece. As soon as one of them's empty, see that it's filled immediately from the compressor, so it'll be ready for use. Prende? Yo comprendo. I will take care of everything. Good.
It sure is great to be working with you again, Mike. Like old times. If we get the kind of pictures I expect, there'll be a lot of publicity in it for you. I'll bet we can get a contract from the magazine to team up for more assignments.
So let's get these pictures first, shall we? Here, test your air.
Aye, aye, sir.
Senorita, very soon we'll reach a spot.
Good. I'll go below and change, sir.
Amigo, according to the chart, this is the place. Okay, Captain.
All set, Mike.
Where do you think you're going with that?
My camera? Why, I'm going to take pictures.
Still the eager beaver, huh? Always in a rush.
But, Mike, I'm paying for this boat by the hour. I'd like to save a little money if I can.
Let's find out if that barge is down there first. Plenty of time later to take pictures.
Okay, Mike. Whatever you say.
Now, you got any questions about these instructions I gave you?
No.
You will follow them this time, won't you?
Yes, Mike, I will.
Well, you better. Come on. Now, we get down there, watch for my signals. Do exactly what I tell you to do. You don't have to dive very deep. Bottom's only about 50 feet here. All right, let's get wet.
Buena suerte and good hunting.
No matter how many times you go underwater, there's always a new thrill, a feeling of conquest. It was that way as Ginny followed me into the depths below the sea. Gradually, day turned into night, and man's world of sun and air and earth turned into the silent murkiness of another world. We were 42 feet down when I thought I saw something. I signaled to Ginny. We swam forward, but there was nothing there. I thought I'd seen the silhouette of a hull, but it had only been a school of fish. We tried a different spot. Several times we thought we saw the barge, but it proved to be a mirage. The undersea currents can conjure up momentary images of things that are not there, just like the rays of the sun do on land. We kept swimming around until our air started to run low. And then we saw it. Ginny wanted to take a closer look at it, but there wasn't time. We only had about 5 minutes of air left in our tanks. Even though we weren't very deep, that was the margin needed for a safe ascent. I signaled to her that we were going up. Ginny followed me up. So far, everything was going perfectly.
You found it? Yep.
Can I take my camera down now?
No, not yet. I want to check the inside of that barge first before you start taking any pictures. I want to make sure that it's safe.
We had time to do that while we were down there.
We only had a few minutes of air left. Don't take any chances. Can I get that through your pretty little head? We got the whole weekend. Hey, now when we get down there, you wait. Let me check that barge before you move in.
Okay, let's go.
Be sure you fill those tanks with air. I take care of it, senor. Ahora, ¿qué pasa, pues? Otra vez, ¿qué pasa con esta?
If I had known what was happening aboard the ship, things might have been different, but maybe not. Normally, we had enough air for the exploratory descent, and then enough to spare to return above for the pictures. We went straight down to the barge. I signaled to Ginny to wait for me until I surveyed the wreck. I started to check over the barge. This was the dangerous part. The barge was made up of concrete and was broken in places. One false step here and a diver could be trapped. I turned to caution Ginny, but she wasn't behind me. I had a sudden hunch that she'd only reverted to form, and in the excitement of discovery, I decided to do a little exploring on her own. I headed for the other side of the barge. There she was, caught in the reinforcement steel rods of the broken concrete of the hull. In trying to get loose, she had only become more entangled. I signaled her to remain still. I'd have to surface to get a crowbar to pry her loose. Her air was starting to run low. I filled my lungs with air as deeply as I could, then took off my tank and put it within Ginny's reach, in case she should need it before I returned. She understood. One thing to be said for Ginny, she didn't scare easily.
¿Qué pasa con esta tontería? ¿Qué? Computer mechanics.
Give me those tanks!
I could not feel the tanks. That miserable compressor conked out again.
Conked out!
Sometimes she works, sometimes no. Today, no.
Oh,
Something wrong?
she's trapped down there. She's only got about 10 minutes of air left, including my tank that I left with her.
Madre de Dios. What do we do now?
Why did you tell her that you had a new compressor?
Didn't tell her nothing about new compressor, senor.
Oh, that girl. Give me some kind of an iron, huh? Something that I can try with.
Here, senor.
Radio the Coast Guard. Tell them what's happened. Tell them we need air.
I radio them right now, senor.
I filled my lungs. The lab experiment was going to be put to practical use. With luck, the Coast Guard might possibly reach us before Ginny's air ran out, but we couldn't count on it. My endurance had been up to 2 minutes and 6 seconds, but that was in the lab, in warm water. This water was icy cold. I tried to keep a mental note of the seconds ticking off, but even before I reached Ginny, I felt that my lungs were going to explode. I made one attempt to pry her loose, but even as I tried, I knew I couldn't do it on this dive. My arms felt like lead. I couldn't hold my breath any longer. I signaled that I'd be back. I thought I'd never reach the surface. Any second, I thought I'd have to give up.
What about the Coast Guard?
They will be here in less than 30 minutes, senor.
She's only got 3 minutes of air left.
As I reached Ginny's side again, I knew that this had to be the last dive. With hardly any air left, there wouldn't be time to surface and come down again. If I didn't succeed now, in a matter of seconds, she'd be dead. A strange sensation was starting to overcome me. I had no strength left. Nothing mattered now, not even self-preservation. I knew that any second now, Ginny would be out of air. I made a last desperate attempt with a crowbar. I heard a crack. The reinforcing rod that imprisoned Ginny bent backwards. I pulled Ginny out, and we surfaced towards safety with our last breath.
There they are.
You okay, Ginny?
You don't have to say it, Mike. I'll never go skin diving again. Ever. Yes, you're right. I just wasn't cut out for it.
I thought you would never come up, senor. You know how long you were down this last time without a diving long? 3 minutes.
Hello there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. Skin diving is fun and adventure for young and old, but it can be dangerous. So So know the sport well and don't take any chances. Be with you next week for another exciting sea hunt. Fish for a living in all the oceans of the world, and from every kind of boat. These days, some even meet the fish in their own territory. But meeting the fish, finding them, has always involved a degree of luck, even superstition. Till science devised this compact instrument. Technical name, dual sweep transducer. Common name, fish finder. My name, Mike Nelson. I'd been hired to test the fish finder on an experimental boat called the Sonar Queen. Down off the coast of Lower California, her skipper, Ted Lawson, set his course by the electronic graph. I verified its accuracy among the schools of fish below. The equipment checked out fine. It was a host of ancient superstitions that led us into trouble. Our encounter with superstition began when the Sonar Queen headed for a tiny fishing village to replenish supplies.
What's the name of this village again?
Punta Esteban.
Punta Esteban. Never been here before, huh?
No. Never have.
Ah, sure beautiful. Peaceful, too. Did I say peaceful?
You're all brave. 6 brave men.
You think so, Arturo?
I can take you.
There'll be more.
What do you want of me? What is it you want?
Go out to sea and don't come back. Go on!
I have rights, like everyone else. I have rights.
There were fish. Plenty of fish. But where are they now? You catch fish. All the time you catch fish. But we don't. Why?
Fisherman's luck. My Madonna. I kiss my Virgencita and she brings me luck. You picked it up, or I'll...
Are you what?
You want trouble? I'll give you trouble.
No one's going to push me. Next time he will tell us where he catches fish.
Poor guy up, didn't they? Wonder why.
It's none of our business.
We're gonna take him on board.
You're just asking for trouble.
Fisherman, senor.
Yes, a whole bunch of them.
He is my father. His name is Ramirez. Arturo Ramirez. They told me he was hurt, that you took him on your boat.
Yes, we did. Come on aboard.
Padre! Papacito! Papacito! What did they do to you, Papacito?
Why did they beat him up like that, John?
Because they hate him.
Why do they hate him?
For finding fish when they don't.
He catches fish and they don't? That's a neat little trick. How does he do that?
I don't know. No one knows.
Nobody ever will.
Papacito, are you all right?
What do you want from my daughter? Who are you?
They're friends, Papa.
Friends? I have no friends, not here.
They helped you.
Come, we go, Juanita.
Please, Papacito, tell them about the fish. Maybe they can help you.
I tell them nothing. I fish alone in my place. No one is going to take it.
Your place? You mean there's just one place where you catch the fish?
Come, we go now. Excuse me, Mr.
Mike.
Mr. Mike, thank you. But please, go away. Gracias.
Well, that's that. Now let's get those supplies and get out of here.
What's the rush?
No need poking our noses in other people's business.
Maybe it's our business, too.
You mean that Senorita is? Come on, you're not fooling anyone. I saw her look at you with those big, sad eyes.
I'm serious. How come that he finds his fish in just one place, huh? Must be a reason for that.
I don't know, and what do you propose doing about it?
Find his place.
Find it? How? We'd be combing this sea for days.
He'll probably be going out the first thing in the morning.
He won't go if you follow him. You can bet he won't go near his special place if anybody's in sight.
Didn't we come down here to test our equipment?
What do you mean?
We got to test radar, too, you know. Sure enough, at dawn next morning, the old man slipped out of the village in a tiny dinghy and headed for his fishing boat offshore. 100 yards away, the Sonar Queen was anchored innocently. Its radar really didn't need testing. It was working perfectly.
There he goes.
Yeah.
There he is, see him? No other boats following him. Better get that map. Sure and mark his course now so we can follow. We tracked the old man for almost 3 hours as he zigzagged back and forth, evidently to discourage being followed. But ultimately, he set a straighter course, and the number of starts and stops in a narrow area indicated he'd come to his special place. Then finally, he turned for home.
He made all of his stops right in this one area, didn't he?
Yeah, he sure did. Let's go take a look at it.
There seemed to be practically no fish life to speak of in this region. It just didn't figure, particularly if there had actually been fish here before.
Hey, Mike. There's his boat.
Yeah, it sure is. We changed our course so the old man wouldn't be aware we were heading for his special place. And when we finally reached it, the fish finder went completely crazy.
Oh, you ought to see these fish.
So we found the old man's place. Now what?
Hey, wait a minute.
Either this thing is going haywire or I'm seeing things.
What's the matter?
Hold it here for a while, will you? Look it out and take a look.
What seems to be the problem?
I won't know that until I get down there.
Something you saw on the fish finder?
Yeah. They're all grouped in a perfectly straight line.
What do you figure caused that?
Well, that's what I'm going to find out. As many times as I've gone below, each dive constitutes a brand new experience with its own kind of excitement and beauty. What made this one unique was the discovery that everything the electronic device registered on a graph was unequivocally correct. Even the almost unbelievable phenomenon of all the fish swimming in a straight line. It was uncanny. Almost as if the superstitions of the villages were about to be found true. As if some kind of witchcraft were really behind Arturo's luck. But then the luck touched my very hands. A cable. An old abandoned telephone cable. The insulation had been eaten away by the sea, exposing the copper wiring. The copper and the salt water were creating a form of electrolysis. And it was this electrolysis that was acting as a lure, attracting the fish. As I worked, it was almost as if these strange sea creatures knew I'd found their secret.
What's this?
The old man's luck.
Bad luck, huh? Maybe your good luck has run out. I said, your good luck is finished. Your friends at the pier, they have gone away. But you haven't.
Leave me alone.
No, we won't. Not anymore. Remember what we did to you the last time? Maybe you will talk now. You will tell us where the fish are. You will tell us, or so help me, I'll cut you to pieces and throw you to the ocean. Maybe that'll bring the fish back. This is your last chance to talk. You won't steal any more fish from us, you thief.
There's your thief.
Mind your own business, or you'll have plenty of trouble, too.
Not as much as you if you don't listen to the truth.
We know the truth. The waters are cursed, but not for him.
You mean because he found a special place to catch his fish?
Yes, an unholy place.
Does this make it unholy? This telephone cable?
Telephone cable? You think we're stupid, don't you?
No. Superstitious, maybe.
What are you talking about?
If you let him go, I'll show you what I'm talking about.
Show us? How are you going to show us?
By taking you there myself.
To the spot where he fishes?
We'll take you there tomorrow morning in our boat.
How did you find it?
There are ways. New, modern ways.
I will not let you take them. I will not let you.
Please, Papacito, he must take them. If we go on like this, I'll find you dead one day.
I can take care of myself. Without the help of the Senor Mike and his tricks.
It's no trick. We'll take you along, too. You'll see, it's no trick at all.
He doesn't like it, so I guess it's all right to go. All right. We'll go with you. But there better be fish there.
We headed out to Arturo's special place at full throttle next morning. In the aft cockpit, there was tension, born of Caesar's suspicion. And the old man's heartbreaking stubbornness. To him, the world had come to an end. That world that huddled below us in a perfectly straight line on the bottom of the ocean. May I have that, please?
Why?
We're going to fish, not hunt. I want to show you something. You too.
You showed him my place. What else is there to show?
How to fish.
You show me how to fish? Cesar Franco, who has fished for 30 years, like my father, my grandfather before me. Oh.
I know, but times have changed. Now, when you come forward, I want to show you something. Do me a favor, please, huh? Will you come with me? And now, take a look at this. And you see this line here? It marks the depth of the ocean floor right below us. Look at that. That's a school of fish passing over the bottom. Here. Now, this graph
is a record of what we see on here. It shows that all the fish that used to be in your bay now gather in this particular area. Okay, right around here. See there? In a straight line. Here. Now, you see this? It's because of this. This old telephone cable that lies on the bottom. It attracts the fish because of its chemical reaction.
Chemical reaction. Big words again.
Look at these fish. Look!
I see no fish.
Of course not. You don't actually see them. Look, if the sun casts your shadow on the floor, I don't have to actually see you in the flesh to know that you're there. I see your shadow, right? Well, it's just like this fish finder, this machine. It casts the shadow of the fish.
I see shadows. Anybody can understand that.
I am not anybody. I am Cesar Franco. No one's gonna make a fool out of me. If there's a shadow, I want to see who makes it. You could make these shadows yourself with this machine of yours.
Cut the engines, Ted. Now, you see this fish here? I'd say it was about 5 or 6 feet long. It's probably a shark. Okay. I'm going to show you that shark in the flesh.
If ever anyone needed fisherman's luck, I did, at this point. For in these swarms of fish, even a shark was a needle in a haystack. And yet I had to find the fellow who'd registered on the graph to prove his existence to the men who waited skeptically above. But luck was with me. Suddenly, he was there. 5 or 6 feet of him, with teeth that could slash off an arm or a leg. I was ready. So was my net. But my fins were not as fast as his. I went after him as he slipped away. And, luck again, he turned, perhaps to attack. He headed right for me. On my first pass, I had him in the net.
Well, there it is in the flesh. How many feet would you say that shark is, huh?
Oh, 5 or 6 feet?
It's like the shadows in the fish finder, huh?
Yeah. Say, with one of those fish finders, I could find fish anywhere, couldn't I, senor?
Yeah, that's right. Anywhere. Then there'd be plenty of fish for everybody, huh?
Senor Mike, you know something? You're a fine fellow. All this trouble you make for yourself, trouble for me, and all the rest, I'm grateful. Very grateful. Here. I want you to have this, my Virgencita. She's been good to me. May she always be good to you.
No thanks. You keep it. You fishermen, you need all the luck that you can get.
Our luck was your coming here, Senor Nelson.
I've been lucky. I have some money. I will buy a fish finder for the village, and we'll all fish together, eh, Cesar?
You buy us a fish finder?
Sure, amigo. Why not?
Gracias, Arturo. Muchas gracias.
You keep it.
You know something? That fish finder can spot anything, even a treasure.
And the treasure of Punta Esteban today is friendship, founded on the trust of each fisherman for his brother, as they sail together with science lighting their way.
I'll be back next week at this same time with another sea hunt story. Plan to be with us again, huh?
A harbor, like an iceberg, is 4/5 underwater. And underwater is where the trouble usually lies. In construction in the first place, and later in repairs as time and the sea take their toll. The day started with the same two routine jobs ahead of me. One, checking the harbor damage. Two, teaching my new assistant about it as we went along. But the routine ended abruptly when we broke for lunch. I had no idea that within 24 hours, I was going to be 1,000 miles from home and 300 feet underneath the sea. And not because I wanted to. The funny thing about trouble, you can always feel it coming.
Nelson?
Uh-huh.
I'm Steve McKay. They told me up at Marineland I'd find you here.
How are you?
I'm an underwater salvage. This is my partner, Ed Romer.
Glad to meet you, Mr. Nelson.
Mr. Riker.
Mr. Riker?
Mr. McKay. Over.
Mr. Nelson, we got a business proposition to put up to you. You got a minute?
Well, I'm sorry. I wouldn't be able to handle another job right now. Well, this isn't just another job, Mr. Nelson.
Just another man won't do. We got to have a man that can dive deep.
Without an air hose. We're bucking a strong current, Mr. Nelson. A hard hat diver can't hold bottom. It's got to be a man with a lung on his back.
A good man. Our bottom is about 300 feet, maybe a little bit more. Ed here doesn't dive at all. My limit's 150 feet.
I'm sorry.
We'll pay you $5,000 for 3, maybe 4 days' work at the outside, no matter what we come up with.
What are you after?
A sure thing. I've been working salvage for 16 years, Mr. Nelson. Everything from hull scraping to dredging, you name it. I'm no Johnny-come-lately.
What's your point?
My point is that I know underwater salvage like I know the back of my own hand. I know the jobs to take and the jobs to leave alone. I learned the hard way to pass up sunken treasure, pirates' gold. Those pieces of eight are never there. But this one I don't pass.
You mean you're going after gold?
Salvage. The safe in the captain's cabin of a ship at the bottom of the sea. The name of the ship is the Santa Felicia. She went down May 28th, 1920, off the coast of La Cruz. It's a little town in Mexico, about halfway down the coast, on the Pacific side. We're going after gold dust, Mr. Nelson. $100,000 worth.
Good luck.
Make that $5,000 I offered you a bottom figure, a guarantee. The top, 20% of what we come up with.
No thanks.
Our salvage boat's a UR-7. The best there is.
I know. I saw her this morning when you anchored. It's a Dolphin, isn't it?
You sound like you've heard of her before.
I have.
I hope we haven't taken up too much of your time, Mr. Nelson.
Not at all, Mr. McKay.
Goodbye. Goodbye, Mr. Reichert.
Wow. I don't get it, Mike. Didn't you want that job?
No, and for a good reason. A buddy of mine once dove for McKay up in Alaska, and he... I'd rather not talk about it, believe it or not.
Of course not. I was just wondering.
Hey, how come I got all dressed up?
Well, I thought I'd go in town for lunch today.
Ready?
Nobody else. I'll see you, Mike.
Now, you'll be back in an hour. Now, don't get sidetracked.
All right.
Billy was late getting back, but I went to work without him, on the theory that you're entitled to a few extra minutes when you're taking a girl to lunch. I had no way of knowing that Billy had something far different in mind, something he didn't want me to know about, something that was worth a quarter-mile swim out to the Dolphin. What he accomplished there, I was to learn several hours later when, after completing the day's work, I came back up to the surface. By this time, I was good and worried about Billy's absence. It wasn't like him to goof off.
Mike, Billy took that job you turned down in Mexico.
Oh, so that's what he's been up to, huh?
Look, they're going now. He talked to them on their boat this afternoon. Then he came to see me. He said you didn't want to take the job.
Did he tell you I had a reason?
We argued about it. I said he shouldn't go unless you did. And he said that he was doing it for us, that we'd be able to get married and have our own home with the money that he'd get from the job. Oh, Mike, I'm so afraid for him.
Take it easy. Take it easy. We'll do something.
What, Mike?
Something.
La Cruz is a sleepy little fishing town, fringed with palms and lapped by the Pacific. But the crew of the Dolphin wasn't really interested in the town.
Well, Billy boy, treasure of the Santa Felicia should only be about a mile away from us now.
Well, I'm ready. Why don't we start?
Take it easy, Billy. We'll start in the morning. Let's get into La Cruz and get those supplies while the stores are still open.
Buenos dias, senores. Welcome to La Cruz.
What are you doing here? I thought you didn't like our proposition.
Well, I had a change of heart.
How'd you know we were in La Cruz?
You told me, remember? Much faster by plane.
You went to a lot of trouble and expense.
Less than $500. What's that as against 1/2 of 20% of $100,000?
We don't need you.
Yes, we do, for insurance. 2 deep divers are better than 1. You don't mind, Billy?
Well, of course not. It's great. Mike, I'm sorry I walked out on you the way I did. No notice or anything. I just thought it was a good idea to...
No crime in being young and ambitious. Is there, Mr. McKay?
No crime at all. Get your gear, Nelson.
Oh, wait a second, Mike. I'll give you a hand.
Don't say it, Ed. I know what I'm doing. I don't care what Nelson's reasons are for coming down here. Till we get what we're after, we need him. To get what we're after.
All of our information boils down to this. After a month of questioning everyone we could find who actually saw the Santa Felicia go down, we came up with 2 witnesses, each of them pretty reliable, and each of them a good distance apart, who had something definite to say about where the boat sank. Now, the lighthouse keeper here at Point A took a bearing at the time, and he said it was almost directly north-northeast. Actually, it was 24 degrees. Now, over here at this Point B, there was a fisherman mending his nets. And he said he saw the ship go down. And it was in a direct line with some rocks off the end of this spit of land. And we shot an azimuth from this point right along this line. And it's almost directly northwest. Actually, it's 313 degrees. Now, when we start searching, we'll ride out along this line. We'll have a man here at Point A on a theodolite. That'll be Ed up there. And he'll keep us on this north-northeast course, this 24-degree course. And over here at Point B, we'll have another man on a theodolite. That'll be you, Billy. And he'll be shooting along this 313-degree line. And when we ride into your sights, we'll be at the point of intersection. We put out a marker buoy, we're in business. We start diving.
Sounds easy enough.
Well, don't let this diagram fool you, Billy. This is only the center of the search area.
Well, how far out does the search area extend?
To the Santa Felicia.
By noon the next day, the Dolphin was underway. Romer, sighting through the theodolite at the lighthouse, kept us on the 24-degree course laid out by his pal McKay. Meantime, Billy waited in the reef with his theodolite sighted along the 313-degree bearing. Despite my misgivings, I found that the 4 of us worked well as a team.
Little to port side. That's it. Right on course. Little starboard.
McKay planned it well. As we came into Billy's sight, I got the signal and dropped the marker buoy.
That's it.
It was too late now to start searching underwater, but next morning, Billy and I were ready for our first descent.
Billy, I told Betty that I was coming down here. I figured that she might worry less if she knew we were together.
Yeah, you're right, Mike. I sure apologize for the way I acted. I did get you down here, though, didn't I? I think you're gonna thank me for it, too.
I hope you're right, Billy. I can always use a little of that gold dust.
Oh, I think you're wrong about McKay. They both seem like real nice guys to me.
I could be wrong. Listen, let's talk about diving now, huh? We'll get on twice a day, once in the morning and once in the afternoon. And we'll spend 20 minutes on the bottom looking and the remainder of the time to decompress coming up. I'll get down to the bottom in the first dive. And you wait for me at the 150-foot level in case I need any help. I'm taking my spear gun. No telling what you might run into down there.
That's a good idea.
We're going in.
Good luck.
We swam down together and separated as agreed for the search. As I set off, I was still full of doubts, despite what I had told Billy. Whatever McKay's real plan was, he was still following through on this part of his agreement. While we were on the bottom, he came down the guide line to 150 feet to wait for us. I was the first to get back to McKay and report no luck. Billy was only a few seconds behind me, and his luck was no better than mine. Decompressing slowly, the three of us started back to the surface. Though McKay had been smart enough to warn that our buoy was only the center of the search area, we hadn't made any progress after 2 more dives. All of us were playing it straight. McKay and Roma doing nothing to arouse new suspicion, and I doing nothing to suggest to Billy that this wasn't the happiest of all possible treasure hunts. We continued to follow the same dive and search plan. And suddenly, there it was. A skeleton of a ship. A playground for a school of fish. It was eerie and sinister, this haunted house on the bottom of the ocean, corroding slowly to death. I swam through her to confirm that she was indeed the Santa Felicia. And then, with time running out, marked her position before starting up.
Mac! Marker buoy!
So far, everything McKay and Roma had promised had turned out true. Next question, was there a safe in the captain's cabin? And was there a bag of gold dust in the safe? The safe was there, all right, and it had been built even more sturdily than the ship itself. After decades in the bottom of the sea, it still remained firmly locked. We couldn't budget, which meant we'd have to come down again the next morning with an acetylene torch and cut it open. If ever McKay was going to make a move, this had to be the time. And it was.
What's the matter? Hello, my regulator doesn't work. Steady floored. Must be in my high pressure block. Take a little while to fix it.
How long?
Well, depends what I run into. Might be an hour.
I don't want to wait that long. I want to get that gold dust.
Well, I don't want to send Billy down there alone.
Well, my gear's all right. I'll go down with him.
Well, what do you say, Billy? Looks like you're elected. And you want me to go down?
No, I can make it all right.
It shouldn't take you long to cut through. Probably half rust anyway. I'll meet you at 150 feet.
Good enough.
Got that torch ready?
Sure.
It was a calculated risk letting Billy go down alone, but I had a rough idea of what would happen next.
I'm getting as bad as Billy. I can't wait any longer either. Keep your fingers crossed. I'm going down.
Well, all we have to do now is wait, huh?
That's right.
Well, any minute, Billy will be coming up from the bottom now. I fixed this regulator. Wasn't as bad as I thought it was. I'm going down.
I wouldn't do that.
Oh, why not? It's better than staying here and getting shot.
Shot?
Yeah. That's your plan, isn't it? That's why you fouled up my regulator. You wanted to split us up so that McKay could take care of Billy at the halfway mark. That is, after he collected the gold dust from him. And at the same time, you could take care of me up here on deck. Close?
Close?
Yeah, it should be. It's the same stunt that you pulled on my friend, Fred Simpson, up in Alaska. I didn't only spy on you last night, Romer. I fouled up some equipment, too. Go ahead, try it. I took out the firing pin. I tied up Romer as quickly as possible, because now I had to get down before Billy reached McKay. I was a few seconds too late.
dive for McKay. He fought like a madman, no holds barred. Everything a weapon, even the bag of gold dust. Billy grabbed the gold, and McKay lost interest in me. And this was the final irony, that the rotting leather of the bag be ripped in the struggle, and grain by grain the gold dust lost forever in the sea. Most of the fight was out of him now. We took McKay topside and tied him up in the cabin with Roma.
They're probably thinking of all that gold dust they spilled into the ocean.
I'll tell you, the next time I think I've got all the answers, I'll just remember this little expedition. No kidding, Mike. I don't know how I'm going to thank you enough.
Forget it. Just listen to Betty next time, will you? Hi there. I'm Lloyd Bridges. Skin diving is certainly a lot of fun, and it's full of adventure. See some more of it again next week, huh? When there'll be another excursion into that fabulous underwater world of Sea Hunt.